Your life is a story. There's a reason that you're drawn to stories, to movies, to books. When people tell stories, you're either inspired by the characters or you feel empathy. They invoke feelings in you because you can relate or you can imagine. Well, your life is also a story that you are telling. So, for the first 15 years of my life had a story, a certain outline, an outlook. I was given a lot. I was shaped a certain way, and I was blessed. I did a lot. I tried new things. Because my mom was always trying to keep us not entertained, but she wanted to show us things in life. I was put in art classes. I took swimming lessons, gymnastics. I was in a book club before I was even in school. My dad was providing all this. So together they shaped my childhood a certain way. I became a reader. I became a musician. I was spiritual. We went to church, but I was also inquisitive. You don't just go through rituals and repetitions and you're religious or you're spiritual. No, you have to be inquisitive and curious. Who is that? What are we talking about? What does that mean? I was also an artist. I was creative. I was an athlete. I was curious. I was ambitious. I was confident. All these experiences compounded, and it was creating a certain character in me. I was so happy, and I was funny, and I wanted to explore. I wanted to explore these ideas about God. Why are we here? Who am I? I wanted to create. I loved cartoons. The classic cartoons from like the 40s and 50s, and I used to draw them a lot. I was inspired by my dad being a musician, and I loved music, and I wanted to be a musician too. So I started playing drums. I started singing. My mom read a lot. She put us in book clubs at the library, so we started to read. So I started to expand my imagination. Oh wow. And I started to get excited about what was out there. I also had a lot of energy. I was active. And so I took swimming. My mom put me in swimming lessons. I was in gymnastics for, I don't know, a year. I played soccer for 8 years. All this was creating something. I started to love life and the future. I had a very optimistic outlook. I was like, man, there's so much to do. I can do so many things. And I can get better at them. And I can gain more knowledge. And I can gain more skills. And I was excited. I was like, man, this is going to be great. Until you reach the age of independence. I mean, you're still dependent on your parents for a lot, but independent thought and more experiences on your own. And so for the next 10 years after that, my environment changed. I was running on fumes from my childhood. And who I had shaped myself and who my parents had shaped me. And I took that into my teenage years, my late teenage years, my early 20s. And I still had a certain outlook, but then there were some things in my environment that added to it, that contributed to who I was becoming. I was always on the move, I was always doing things, so I wanted to pull back. And I was more curious about people. I wanted to be more social. I wanted to be entertained. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to meet new people, have fun, have a good time. So I desired entertainment, pleasure, being social. Those aren't bad things, but I put too much emphasis on them. I wanted to fall in love. I wanted to have attention. I started wanting more things that weren't necessarily building who I was. Looking back, that's how I see it now. My childhood was great. All I remember is good times. I was always with family. We were visiting family every week. We were going camping. We were going on vacations. I always had something to do, something I was looking forward to. I had little goals and I didn't even realize it. There was a cartoon I wanted to draw. Oh, I think I could draw that character. I want to draw that character. Or I want to be able to sing like that person. Or I want to be able to drum that song to that song, just like that person did. Then I had sports games, and I was always doing things, achieving things. And that continued into my teenage years and into school, into middle school and high school, and afterwards. But I started to experience hardships, heartbreak, failure, betrayal, tragedy, disappointments. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared to endure hardship because everything came so easy to me. And so when I experienced failure and I experienced all these things that were difficult, I did not know how to overcome them. The only thing I had to overcome was a challenge that was something that I wanted. I wanted to challenge myself with a harder drawing or a more difficult song. But when life was testing me, when I was getting these experiences that I wasn't in control of, I didn't know how to react. It kind of beat me down for a while. And I realized I lacked guidance. I didn't know how to get through it. I didn't know where to go from there. My emotions started to take a toll. My self-worth, my confidence. I had no discipline. I didn't know my purpose. So I didn't know what to aim for to get out of that place and those feelings, those experiences. I didn't understand my foundation. So at a really low point, probably the darkest point in my life, I realized I need a foundation. And I don't even know if I realized, I don't even think I did most of it on purpose. I think it was my nature, or it was God, it was the Spirit guiding me. I'd always had spirituality or religion in some form in my life. And I decided to all right, I need to feel better. That was my only hope. Prayer. I do not know what I'm doing. I need to get out of here. So I was just like, I gave over control, and I need guidance. Help me. I needed assistance. And so diving into spirituality and seeking something that was more powerful than me, something I didn't understand, and something I had to humble myself to and grow and give myself over to, gave my life purpose, more meaning. I started to become selfless instead of this woe is me mentality. Oh, this happened to me. Oh man. And I was just like, I started to become a person that was not a victim. These things didn't happen to me, they were happening for me. Now I have obstacles I can overcome and I can gain things from them. These experiences are giving me things. They're gifts. Yeah, some of them could have been avoided, but sometimes you go through things that are unavoidable. What are you going to do about it? And so I started to get a foundation, and my life had a purpose. So I was picking up momentum. And in my mid-20s, I got into health and fitness. I had become so lazy and sluggish and beat down that I was just like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to feel like this about myself when I look in the mirror, when I see photos of myself. So I got into health and fitness. I started running around the block. I started lifting weights in the garage. I got a gym membership. I started learning about nutrition and what I was eating, the food industry. That gave me discipline, because in order to get to the place where I wanted to be, and in order to get more fit, in order to get healthier, I had to stick to what it took. It was all math. It was all reps. It's all repetition. Stick to these numbers, stick to these foods, stick to these workouts. It seemed very logical to me. If I want this outcome, this is the plan. So I became very disciplined, sticking to the plan. So I started gaining skills and knowledge. And then I wanted to learn about more things. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do hard things. I can overcome these things. I can feel better. I wanted more wisdom. I had a foundation. I didn't want to feel like a kid or like I was lost anymore. So I started reading a lot more. I went back to reading. Started listening to more podcasts, people that knew more than me on subjects that I was not knowledgeable about. I was getting guidance, spiritually and mentally, and physically. So I started starting to feel more whole. Okay, I don't have to let my past define me. I had my life wasn't bad, but everyone experiences things. There was good and bad. And so I started seeing the contrast between my childhood and then afterwards. Some of the experiences I had were less than ideal. And so I was thinking that I can get new experiences. I wanted to experience freedom. Freedom from all these negative thoughts. Or how my body felt when I ate certain foods. I wanted to experience abundance. I wanted peace. I wanted self-control. I didn't want vices. I wanted to have more compassion, more generosity. I started to get direction. Okay, this is what I've experienced in the past. What do I want to experience in the future? It's not about just right now. I didn't want instant gratification anymore. That didn't get me anywhere. So you have to sacrifice your instant gratification for long-term satisfaction. And you're never going to be satisfied. That end goal, you never really reach it. Like, you'll finish a book, or you'll finish a workout plan, or you'll hit your body fat goal. Or there's those little goals, but they should be just stepping stones along the way, because you're becoming someone. Those goals are allowing you to become someone. So now you have this direction, you have this aim, and you should keep setting up these things you want to experience. You're just trying to experience these feelings, and these goals and these achievements and accomplishments are allowing you to feel a certain way. So you start to redirect your goals according to how you'd like to feel. The better you feel, the better you're going to make others feel. Don't do it selfishly. Because you're always giving. You're always giving who you are. You should be. If you recognize it or not, that's what you're doing. Anyways, I started to notice that my environment was giving me an identity. And it wasn't until I attached my identity to my vision, my ideal, and my potential that I gained control, some sort of control. There's a lot of things, and most things we don't control. But there are things that you can. You can envision what it would like to feel better, to do better. I would look at my art and be like, oh man, this is great, but I don't like what I did right there. So I'd erase it and try again. You can do that with your life and who you are. There's some experiences, no, you can't erase. But you don't have to repeat those. You don't have to draw that line again that way. You could straighten it. Next time I would go like this. I would pay attention to depth, to shading, to lighting. Look at it from another angle. Step back and look at it. Look at your life and look at who you are. Readjust. Do something different. The way I cross-hatched here didn't give the effect I wanted it to, so I'm going to shade differently. The way I approached that situation, the outcome wasn't what I expected, and I'm going to say something different next time. You get to choose your character in this story. You get to choose who your character becomes by your outlook, your actions, and in your environment. You could change your perspective. You could do something different. You could change your environment. At least one of those three variables can be changed sometimes. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't change your experience now. So change your environment. Change what you're taking in. Change how you're looking at the situation. Rethink it. Your experience will inevitably change. You change one thing, it's like the butterfly effect. I think that's what it's called. You change one thing, it's going to change everything. So start making incremental changes, and you can change your character, who your character in this story is becoming. You don't fake it till you make it. You don't just like, okay, I'm going to say these affirmations, and I'm going to envision, and I'm going to just sit in silence and going to dream. I'm going to make a vision board. No, you embark on the journey of becoming. It's great. Have an imagination. Have this vision. It's great reading fiction stories or watching a movie and seeing what is possible, or expanding or imagining what is possible. But you're not going to go anywhere until you do something. So how would that character act? What would they do? Back when I was out of shape and I felt disgusting, I didn't feel good about myself. I had no confidence. And I just envisioned this person that I was like, I'm going to be fit and I'm going to be athletic and I'm going to feel good. I want to go into try on some clothes and not. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel comfortable in my own skin and confident, proud of my accomplishments. How is that person going to eat? How often is he going to work out? What is that person going to do? What do they do? Shape your environment. If there's negative people, if your room is ugly, take things away. Start making things more beautiful. Start putting things around you that are inspiring. Listen to things. Change the type of music you listen to. Change the book you read. Or go somewhere. You can move. Or if you can't move, or you can't change your home, there's an area, there's a part of town. You can go sit on top of that mountain. You can go to the park. You can be in an environment, in a place that brings you to awe, or that inspires you, that is beautiful. Beauty inspires. When you change those things, you change who your character becomes. So who are you? What character are you? What characteristics do you have? Who is your character becoming? In sports, in movies, in books, there's always a character or a person that needs to change who they are. They need to get more skills. They need to practice. They need to overcome. They need to become a person that is able to overcome obstacles, challenges, and they gain things in the end. They gain that goal. They get the gold from the dragon. They save the world. You know, these things are exaggerated to inspire you to be more. Because if they can do it, you can do it. So who are you becoming? Your life is a story. Remember that you can always change your character.